What if I told you the reason you still don't feel happy isn't because life is against you, but because you've been waiting for it to change? You wake up tired, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. It feels like you're stepping onto a stage again, another day, another performance. You tell yourself the same story. It'll get better when this project ends, when the weekend comes, when things finally calm down. But they never really do they? There's always something else. Another task, another pressure, another reason to delay feeling okay. And slowly, without even noticing, you begin to believe that happiness is something outside of you, something random, something that happens if you're lucky enough. A shift in circumstances, a reward you're owed, but somehow never quite receive. So what do? You wait. You scroll. You distract yourself. You keep pushing forward. But underneath all of that, something else is growing. Resentment. Exhaustion. And that quiet voice inside you, the one that once believed in more, starts to fade, little by little, day after day. Now here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Happiness isn't coming. Not the way you think. Not because you're broken. Not because you're unlucky. But because you've been waiting for it, instead of building it. Most people spend their entire lives believing that peace, joy, and resilience will arrive when life finally cooperates. When everything is smooth. When nothing goes wrong. But that moment never comes. Because those things, peace, joy, strength, are not delivered to you. They are created. Every single day. Through your mindset. Through your habits. Through the quiet decision to take responsibility for your inner world. And let's be clear, this isn't about pretending everything is fine. This isn't fake positivity. It's not ignoring your struggles or forcing a smile when things hurt. This is about reclaiming control over the one thing you actually have power over, your mind. In this video, you're going to discover 10 powerful mindset shifts rooted in Stoic philosophy and modern psychology. Not theories. Not empty motivation. Real tools that help you stop waiting and start building a life that actually feels worth living. Because you deserve more than just surviving your days. You deserve to feel alive again. So if you're ready to stop waiting and start building your own happiness, make that decision right now. Say it to yourself. I'm ready. Let's begin with the foundation. Shift number 1. Take control of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius said it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Think about that. Your thoughts feel real. They feel automatic. But they are not facts. They are interpretations, stories your mind creates based on past experiences, fear, conditioning, and something called negativity bias. Your brain is wired to focus more on what could go wrong than what's going right. It once helped humans survive danger. But today, it often traps you in it. So the first step to building happiness is simple, but not easy. Stop believing every thought you think. You can question it. You can challenge it. You can change it. The next time your mind says, I'll never get through this, pause. Ask yourself, is that true? Or is that just fear talking? Look at your life. Every difficult moment you've faced, you survived it. You're still here. So is that thought accurate? Or is it just a habit? When your mind says, nothing ever works out for me, stop again. Is that really true? Or are you filtering out every success, every small win, every moment things did work, simply because your brain remembers negativity more strongly? This isn't about lying to yourself. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about refusing to let unexamined thoughts control your life. Because the quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. Change the story in your head, and you begin to change everything around you. Now let's move to something just as important. Shift number 2. Stop relying on motivation and start building structure. Because motivation? It's unreliable. It shows up when you don't need it, when you're already feeling good, already energized, already inspired. And it disappears the moment things get hard. Right when you need it most. So if you're waiting to feel motivated before you take action, you might be waiting forever. And this is exactly where most people get stuck. They understand their thoughts, but they still wait for the feeling to act. Here's the problem. If you're waiting to feel like doing the work, you'll spend your entire life waiting. Because motivation is unreliable. It shows up when everything is already easy, when you feel good, when you're inspired, when life is smooth. But the moment things get difficult, it disappears. And that's the moment you actually need it the most. This is why discipline wins. Every time. Because discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't negotiate with your mood. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It doesn't ask if today is a good day. It simply shows up. You don't need to feel inspired to take care of yourself. You don't need to feel energized to protect your peace. What you need is a system. A structure that works even when your emotions don't. Start simple. Build routines so clear, so consistent, that they become automatic. A morning routine that grounds you before the day pulls you in 100 directions. An evening routine that helps you reset instead of carrying stress into tomorrow. Small daily actions that anchor you, no matter how chaotic life gets around you. Because when you rely on structure instead of emotion, something shifts. You stop being a victim of your moods. You stop needing everything to feel perfect before you take action. You show up, not because you feel like it, but because that's who you are. The Stoics had a name for this mindset. They called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of difficulties. They didn't expect life to be easy. They prepared for challenges in advance, so they wouldn't be shaken when they arrived. And you can do the same. Build your routines now, while things are calm. So when life gets messy, when things fall apart, as they always do at some point, you're not starting from nothing. You have something to hold on to. Because when motivation disappears, and it will, structure remains. Structure carries you when emotion fails. Now let's take this even deeper. Shift number 3. Focus your mind on what actually empowers you. Because one of the biggest reasons people feel overwhelmed is not because life is too hard. It's because they're trying to control things they were never meant to control. Epictetus said it simply: some things are within your control, and some things are not. And the secret to a peaceful life is knowing the difference. Think about it. You can't control what other people think about you. You can't control the economy, the weather, or someone else's bad mood. You can't control traffic, illness, politics, or the unexpected problems life throws at you. But you can control something far more important: your response. You control your effort, your attitude, your integrity, the meaning you give to what happens, the actions you take when things get difficult, the words you choose, the boundaries you set. And yet, most people ignore this. They spend their energy worrying about the past, as if replaying it will somehow change it. They stress about the future, as if anxiety is a form of preparation. They obsess over other people's opinions, as if that will make them different. And in doing all of this, they completely neglect the one place they actually have power: their own choices. But the moment you shift your focus, everything changes. You stop feeling helpless. You stop waiting for life to cooperate. And you start taking responsibility for what actually matters. So ask yourself right now: what am I worrying about that I cannot control? And what is one small action I can take today? Because that's where your energy belongs. That's where your power lives. Now let's move into something that quietly transforms everything. Shift number 4. Use gratitude to find peace, even in chaos. Because gratitude is not just a feel-good habit. It's not some trendy idea people talk about and forget. It's a psychological reset button. When you actively look for what's going well, your brain begins to change. Literally. Research on neuroplasticity shows that when you practice gratitude consistently, you strengthen the neural pathways linked to positive emotions and contentment, while weakening the ones tied to anxiety, negativity, and constant threat detection. In other words, you train your brain to see more good and less danger. And over time, that changes how you experience your entire life. The Stoics understood this long before science explained it. Seneca once said, "A wise person does not grieve for what they lack, but rejoices in what they have." But most people do the opposite. They focus on what's missing, what's broken, what hasn't happened yet, what others have that they don't. And without realizing it, they blind themselves to the abundance already in front of them. And this is where gratitude becomes more than an idea, it becomes a daily practice. Because when you constantly focus on what's missing, you unknowingly train your mind to ignore everything that's already there. So start small. Every morning or every night, take a moment and write down 3 things you're grateful for. But not the usual, generic answers. Be specific. Notice the details. The way the sunlight came through your window this morning. A simple conversation that made you laugh more than you expected. The quiet fact that your body is still working for you, even on days you forget to take care of it. Or even something as simple as a cup of coffee that tasted just right. These moments are easy to overlook. But they are real. And they matter. Now, this isn't about pretending your life is perfect. It's not about ignoring struggle or denying that things can be hard. It's about training your mind to see clearly. Because in every single moment, both exist. There is always something difficult. And there is always something good. And the one you focus on becomes the one you feel. That's the shift. Now let's move into something that quietly drains most people without them even realizing it. Shift number 5. Embrace simplicity to reclaim your energy. Because right now, you're probably carrying more than you need. Too many commitments. Too many distractions. Too many things that demand your attention but add no real value. Too many people you're trying to please. Too many open tabs, not just on your screen, but in your mind. It's exhausting, isn't it? The Stoics understood something powerful. Complexity drains you. Clarity strengthens you. Every unnecessary thing you carry, whether it's a task, a relationship, or even a lingering worry, takes energy away from the life you actually want to build. So pause for a moment and look at your life honestly. What are you doing that doesn't align with who you want to become? What obligations are you holding onto out of guilt instead of genuine care? What distractions are stealing your time and giving you nothing meaningful in return? And here's the hard part. You have to cut them. Not later. Not when it's more convenient. Now. Because every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you are automatically saying no to something that does. Every hour spent scrolling is an hour you didn't spend creating. Every relationship maintained out of obligation is energy you could have invested in people who actually lift you up. And simplicity? It's not about losing things. It's about gaining clarity. It's about creating space so you can finally focus on what truly matters instead of drowning in noise. So ask yourself this. If you could only keep 3 priorities this week, what would they be? 3 things that actually move your life forward. Then build your days around those. Let everything else fall away. Because peace doesn't come from having more. It comes from needing less. Now, let's shift your perspective even further. Shift number 6. Reframe adversity as growth. Because most people see obstacles as something blocking their path. But the Stoics saw it differently. They believed the obstacle is the path. Marcus Aurelius said it clearly. What stands in the way becomes the way. Think about that. Every challenge you face is not there to stop you. It's there to shape you. Every setback is a chance to build resilience. Every failure is information, data you can use to improve. Every uncomfortable moment is training for something greater ahead. But only if you choose to see it that way. Because most people don't. When things go wrong, they collapse. They take it personally. They tell themselves, maybe this just isn't meant for me. They believe the universe is against them. And slowly, they settle for less than they're capable of. But what if that's not true? What if the hard thing you're facing right now isn't happening to you, but for you? What if it's forcing you to grow in ways comfort never could? What if it's clearing out everything that no longer serves you, so you can finally focus on what does? Viktor Frankl, a man who survived one of the darkest experiences in human history, discovered something powerful. Even when everything is taken from you, one thing remains: the ability to choose your response. And that choice changes everything. And this is the realization that changes everything. It's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to it. Because at the end of the day, almost everything can be taken from you: your comfort, your plans, even your sense of control. But there is one thing that always remains: your ability to choose your response. You may not control what happens, but you always control what it means. So instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" a question that keeps you stuck, shift it. Ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? How is this making me stronger? That single shift in perspective can completely transform how you experience difficulty, and ultimately, how you experience life itself. Now let's bring that awareness into something practical. Shift number 7. End your day with clarity and emotional renewal. The Stoics treated evening reflection as a non-negotiable ritual, not as a punishment, not as a way to criticize themselves, but as a way to grow. Every night, they would look back on their day, not to dwell in regret, but to learn, adjust, and prepare for tomorrow. Seneca asked himself simple but powerful questions. What bad habit did I overcome today? What temptation did I resist? How did I improve, even slightly, from this morning? And notice, this isn't about perfection. It's not about being flawless or beating yourself up for mistakes. It's about awareness. It's about closing the mental loop of your day, so you don't carry unfinished thoughts and emotional weight into tomorrow. Because when you reflect, something powerful happens. You process your experiences instead of letting them linger. You begin to see patterns in your behavior. You notice small wins you would normally ignore. And you correct your course without shame. But most people don't do this. They go to bed with their minds still racing, replaying conversations, revisiting regrets, worrying about what's coming next. And then they wonder why they can't sleep, why they wake up feeling anxious, why every day feels like a continuation of yesterday's chaos instead of a fresh start. So break that cycle. Tonight, Before you sleep, take just 5 minutes. Ask yourself, what went well today? What did I learn? What can I do better tomorrow? Write it down if you can. Or simply sit quietly and let the day settle. Because this small habit gives you back control. It reminds you that you're not just drifting through life. You are shaping it. You are the author. And tomorrow? Tomorrow is a blank page. Now, let's protect what writes on that page. Shift number 8. Protect what enters your mind. Because whether you realize it or not, you are constantly being shaped. Not just by what you eat, but by what you watch, what you read, who you listen to, and what you allow into your environment. Everything you consume becomes part of you. It shapes your thoughts, your mood, your beliefs about what's possible, and eventually, it shapes who you become. The problem is, most people are careless with this. They wake up and immediately scroll through negativity, comparison, outrage, noise. Before they even get out of bed, their mind is already flooded with stress hormones. They surround themselves with people who drain them. They consume endless streams of content designed to provoke, distract, and overwhelm. And then they wonder, why do I feel anxious? Why can't I focus? Why do I feel stuck? The Stoics were different. They were intentional. They chose carefully what they allowed into their minds. They treated their attention like something sacred because it is. Because you cannot build a peaceful mind while feeding it chaos. You cannot build strength while surrounding yourself with weakness. You cannot think clearly if everything you consume is designed to pull you in every direction. So be honest with yourself. Audit your inputs. Who are you following? What are you reading? What conversations are you engaging in? What environments are you placing yourself in? And here's the rule. If it doesn't make you sharper, calmer, or more grounded, cut it. Because your attention is your most valuable resource. Stop giving it away to things that weaken you. Start investing it in what strengthens you. Now let's take it one step further. Shift number 9. Voluntarily choose discomfort. This might sound counterintuitive. Why would you choose discomfort when life already gives you enough of it? But the Stoics understood something most people don't. If you never challenge yourself, you remain fragile. They practiced something called negative visualization. They imagined hardship, not to suffer, but to prepare. To remove fear's power over them. Because when you willingly step into discomfort, something changes. You prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. You expand your limits. And you build real confidence, not from words, but from evidence. Think about it. Take a cold shower. Skip a meal for a day. Go for a run when you don't feel like it. Sit in silence instead of reaching for your phone. Have that difficult conversation you've been avoiding. These are small things, but they compound. Over time, they teach you a powerful truth. Discomfort is not the enemy. Avoidance is. They show you that you are stronger than your excuses. But most people never learn this. They spend their lives chasing comfort, making everything easier, avoiding anything difficult. And then when life gets hard, and it will, they feel unprepared, overwhelmed, fragile. So don't be like most people. Start building your strength now, in small, controlled doses. Because when real adversity comes, and it always does, you won't break. You'll be ready. And this is where all of it comes together, because strength isn't built when life is easy, it's built when you prepare for what's hard. So start now. In small ways. Build your capacity to handle discomfort, bit by bit, so when real adversity shows up, and it will, you're not caught off guard. You're ready. Now here's the final shift, and it might be the most powerful one of all. Shift number 10. Take your focus off yourself and place it on others. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but it changes everything. Because when you're trapped in your own thoughts, your worries, your problems, your fears, everything feels heavier than it actually is. It feels overwhelming, suffocating, like there's no way out. But the moment you turn outward, something shifts. The moment you help someone, the moment you offer kindness, the moment you contribute to something beyond just your own survival, the weight begins to lift. Service is the antidote to self-absorption. It reminds you that you matter, that your actions have impact, that even when you're struggling, you still have something meaningful to give. And this doesn't mean ignoring yourself. It doesn't mean sacrificing your needs or pretending you're fine when you're not. It means understanding something deeper. Purpose and connection are not optional. They are essential. Just like rest. Just like safety. So ask yourself, honestly, who can I help today? What small act of kindness can I offer? And remember, it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be impressive. A message. A smile. Holding the door. Actually listening to someone when they speak. These small moments, they add up. And over time, they remind you of something powerful. You are not here just to get through life. You are here to contribute to it. Now take a step back and look at what you built here. You've just walked through 10 mindset shifts, 10 ways of thinking that can completely transform how you experience happiness, peace, and resilience. You've seen that happiness isn't something that magically appears when everything finally goes your way. It's something you build. Deliberately. Through daily choices. Through consistent action. You've learned to take control of your thoughts, so they don't control you. to rely on structure instead of waiting for motivation, to focus only on what you can control, and let go of everything else without guilt. You've learned to practice gratitude, to simplify your life, and to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow. You've learned to reflect, to protect your mind, to step into discomfort, and to turn outward through service. But here's the truth. These are not ideas. They are practices. And practices require something most people avoid: repetition, commitment, patience. Because you won't get this perfect overnight. You'll forget. You'll fall back into old habits. You'll have days where it feels easier to give up than to keep building. And that's okay. That's part of the process. This isn't about being perfect. It's about moving in the right direction. It's about making one better choice today than you made yesterday. Every time you catch yourself spiraling and choose to redirect your thoughts, that's progress. Every time you follow through on your routine, even when you don't feel like it, that's strength. Every time you focus on what you can control instead of what you can't, that's wisdom in action. The Stoics never expected perfection. They expected effort. They expected consistency. They expected themselves to keep showing up, no matter what. So don't wait. Not for Monday. Not for next month. Not for life to finally calm down. Start today. Right now. Pick one shift. Just one. And commit to practicing it for the next 7 days. Maybe it's gratitude. Maybe it's reflection. Maybe it's protecting your mind. Or choosing one small discomfort each day. It doesn't matter where you begin. What matters is that you begin. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting to feel ready. You are ready. Right now. Because happiness isn't coming to save you. No one is coming to fix your inner world. But you can. One choice at a time. One habit at a time. One day at a time. The Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. And now, you do too. So stop waiting. Start building. Your life is happening in this very moment. Don't let it pass you by. Make it count. If you're ready to take that step, say it to yourself. I build my own happiness. And if this message spoke to you, make sure you subscribe and stay on this path. Because this is only the beginning. Stay present. Stay grounded. And above all, stay strong.